Well, I guess we can't really go too far yet. I haven't told you what we talked about. So we're going to talk about a couple different things for that float rig, what I like to throw, and then two other hardware techniques. So the first has got to be a steelhead jig. Now, I like to tie my own jigs, but there are some great companies out there that have tons and tons of different stuff. So I love to throw either just a plain simple jig like this one. This happens to be a peach single bead rabbit fur that I tie up. Throw a little bit of shrimp on there, you're golden. You don't have to do anything else. A jig like this will work great. Arrow Jig's another company that makes some good ones. Bobber down jigs. There's so many different ones out there, guys. So any steelhead jig, oranges, pinks, the kind of bright stuff right now, especially with the water clarity, the stuff will work really good to get a fish's attention. And if you want to tip with bait, that's just another way to do it. The second technique that I really love to do is throw beads. Beads they're very effective to imitate either a single egg floating downstream or a little bit more of a cluster that these steelhead will instinctively pick up. So I will then run one of these by themselves on maybe a shot rig, and you can see one of my other videos that I've done before on explaining what that is. But I love being able to throw beads because they naturally imitate what those fish target. So the other piece that I really like to do is combine the two. So I will take my jig and I will take my bead and I will put them together for a dropper rig. And again, I have done a video on this one, so if you want to check that out, I'll put it up there in the corner. But we'll tie this thing on for you and then showcase how effective this will look. Alright, so we're just doing a short dropper of about 8 inches or so, but I tie it in directly behind the head there, right in front of that front bead. Clip some tag ends later, but there you go. So you're fishing effectively two different areas of the water column that those fish can key in and target. As far as the beads go, there's a lot of great companies out there. I've been running the Ballerz beads the last year or so. I've really done well with them. Some killer custom colors. Go get in touch with Mike Garrison for that one, and he'll hook you up. I'll put his stuff down below for Ballerz as well. But this bead dropper jig has been my go-to for the last 3 years, and I have not turned away from it. I really feel like you can target a lot of stuff, but you have to make sure in your regulations the anti-snagging rule is not in effect. If the anti-snagging rule is in effect, you cannot use a dropper. So it'll be just a single jig like I first mentioned, and you can go from there. But we'll showcase this in the test tank on how good that looks. Colors wise for beads and jigs this time of year, again, keep it bright. When the water gets super clear, you go real natural, but I like your pinks and orange in the jigs, and then I contrast that with the bead color. Your reds, your oranges, some of your natural stuff, peaches, work really good. But once we transition away from a float rod, because I usually carry multiple rods with me, we'll talk hardware. And what you can't talk hardware about in summer run steelhead is not to mention your spoons and your spinners. So as far as that goes, spoons, there's a lot of great companies out there. Pentac makes a very good 24 karat colored and really productive spoon there. A lot of great finishes on those guys, done really well on them. Goals Custom makes some great ones out there as well. The Wonder Bread spoon for me in the last couple summers has been really dynamite until I lost them all. But spoons are always a great option for summer run steelhead, and I always have a rod with one of those set up. The other hardware that I'll be looking at is going to be a Wicked lure or some kind of spinner. I'm running a Wicked because I know and have the confidence in their awesome productivity on the water. You guys have seen me show Wickeds in so many different videos, but they smash fish. So a spinner like this that's unweighted, You can then use a Dave's Tangle free weight or some kind of other inline weight ahead of this and make a very effective casting rig that you can swing just like a spoon and be super productive with it. So we're covering just a couple different things for the opener tomorrow, but let's jump in the test tank and show you guys what the saw is going to look like. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so first things first, I'm going to show you guys how this float setup is going to look in the water. So you can see there we are very close for it to sit on the specific line there of the color. The bounce is going to be great. When you throw that 3/8 with an 1/8 ounce jig, you will have a 1/2 ounce and fish very effectively. So that's what I like to do with my float setup. You want it to be very similar to that. That way you're effectively able to fish your rigs. So get the float rig together. Then secondly, we will go and take a look at our jig setup. Alright, so we got our current now running in the tank, and we're going to throw in the first of the float rig setups, and this is going to be just a jig itself. So in the current, you want that jig to be sitting as close to horizontal as possible. It gives a really natural presentation that those fish key in on and absolutely destroy. So that is a jig fished under a float. Really is effective and one of my favorites. Then after we take a look at just a single jig, I talked about just specifically looking at the bead. So in the water, you're gonna see that bead really just looks like a natural deal, and it's so great because as it looks so natural, you then throw it behind as a dropper to a jig. You now can see here that you have two separate water column areas that bead is able to cover from the bottom, and the jig then can be covered up top. So it really looks good. The fish will key in on either the bead or that jig, and really makes for a productive setup to use. So jig and bead, always a great combination. Alright guys, so next we dive into our hardware, and you're looking at a Pentac 24 karat 1/2 ounce spoon. In the water, this thing really is just dynamite. Makes some great movement and action, and that flash really drives those steelhead wild. And last but not least, you're looking at the Wicked King Killer spinner that drives big, wild, hot chrome steelhead. I always love rolling one of these on my rig setups. Really works great at all speeds. Draws a lot of flash early on. This is a great way to land some nice fish. Alright guys, so now that you saw a little bit of the test tank and how that turned out, really hope you have an idea, at least a little bit helpful idea, on some stuff to throw tomorrow, because I hope you guys can all get as lucky as we had last year, somewhere around the same time, and got some nice fish like this right here. So thank you so much again for watching today. Just so much thanks. Give us a like if you want to see more of this kind of destination fishery opener type test tanks on what we would use, because I'm happy to do any of that kind of stuff. And you want to see more of our videos, give us a subscription below and click the little bell icon. We're going to be trying to do a lot more videos here. We're at least doing a test tank a week, but I'm looking to try and do some more as well. So those notification bells will tell you what's coming soon. And yeah, a lot of excitement. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys out on the water. So take care and fish on.